And we're live! Welcome to Founders Chat Live, the only business show with the hottest business and startup news and even hotter takes. As always, I'm Alex, I'm here with Joe,
What's up,
and
guys?
we've got some interesting topics to talk today. Amazing topics to discuss. But the first one is the core topic of the day, which is can we actually trust thought leaders and influencers today? Because I've noticed a trend over the past few months. I mean, it's always been a thing, but because of how social media grows and how getting organic reach is harder and harder for everyone, not just small businesses, but also large companies, there is an influx in advertising, which I think you've mentioned earlier before the show.
Yeah,
Now on LinkedIn, for example.
the thing that's honestly, this has annoyed me so much this past couple of weeks because I didn't notice until last week where I looked at my screen time for the past 3 months, and it's went down by almost an hour a day because I just don't doom scroll anymore, like ever. So I just thought, what's different? And it's because on Instagram or on TikTok or LinkedIn, or especially LinkedIn and Instagram are the worst too. Every two posts is just a sponsored post or an ad or an influencer sponsored post or something along those lines. And it's driving us mad, especially LinkedIn, because the ads are the most corporate bullshit you can ever think of. It's like Asana promoting some random new CRM integration that no one cares about. But Instagram's even worse because you open the Instagram app, the first post you see is normally from someone you follow, right? Like, good. That's why I open Instagram. The next post is a sponsored ad. The next post is something suggested for you. And the next thing is another sponsored ad. Then it's suggested for you. And you don't see any posts from anyone you follow. You've got to use your stories for that. But I guess the one benefit is an hour less screen time a day. I suppose that's an indirect benefit, but it's also probably ruining people's brains and enjoyment of social media and the success of organic content. So it's not going well. It's not going well at all.
We're just getting swamped by advertising. Um, and some people are trying to get around it by using influencers as well. So that's the thing. Like you see, every third post is an ad. But then what do you see as a normal post? It's probably an ad as well. Um, so who can we actually trust? And I'll give you one example. Just recently, I've noticed Lovable. I think they got another investment and they just been spamming massive campaign. They paid hundreds, if not thousands, of influencers to actually promote the platform. And some have mentioned that it's an advert or it's a paid sponsorship on the bottom. But the thing is, like, people don't always read that, and they pick the right people where everyone will like give them it. I'm pretty sure it's part of the actually marketing team that's giving people instructions. Because there's always the theme of like, oh, I'm this person. You can use Lovable to do X, and they like give you very specific example of like, I built this app and it does this for me.
Like
And they
in
always
the
end with the
Like
yeah.
I've obviously done influencer partnerships, especially mainly in the past when I was a bit more focused on like sheer views and engagement. And what typically happens is you get sent a Notion doc or a Google Drive doc of the main pain points that they want you to create content around. And a lot of the time, for example, when I was sponsored by a CRM, they said you cannot say this CRM brought me 20 grand in revenue, but you can say this CRM let me track the data to do X. And they'll give you some really good example hooks. Then they'll have something else called like a link to a WhatsApp chat where you can put your sponsor post and everyone will like and engage it on LinkedIn so it gets put out to more people. I didn't do that part, but that's the sort of things that these companies will send you if you do a brand partnership.
Exactly. So you can see that each one of those adverts just follow this specific format. Um, but the problem is because they come from influencers, right? It's the borrowed authority. Um, People instantly think that, oh, this person is actually a very successful business owner or founder or influencer or whatever. They've got, hundreds of thousands of followers, or at least like tens of thousands. Some got millions. And you think like, okay,
Mhm.
well, this person said this, therefore it must be true. But what the viewers don't mostly realize is if this company didn't pay them, they would have probably never done it. And they never disclose like the full truth. Like I pulled up one of those people um in the comments that says like, actually, this statement is incorrect. Like you said you've made this product. Why didn't I see it? Why didn't you promote it? Right? You built this amazing thing. Why aren't you showing it? The other guy was like, oh, you can use it to build PowerPoint presentations. I don't see you show any of them up for us. You just said, oh, you can send me an email and I'll show you how I do it. But like, why don't you just show me how you do it if it's so amazing, if you love the product,
Mhm.
right? Um, so people get paid to say very, very certain specific things, and the majority of viewers, unfortunately, don't always think that they might be influenced by the fact that they got a shit ton of money to say that. Um, Another example is, like I said the other day, this huge scandal a couple of years ago with Stephen Bartlett having a major company stake investment in Huel, but never disclosing it. So he got
Mhm.
actually sued, but it doesn't matter, right? The guy can afford to pay off a couple of mil. So it doesn't matter anymore, but the business only grew because he kept lying to people and saying, "Oh, I use this product." Like you don't actually use it; you're just getting paid to promote it.
Mhm.
Um, so with that in mind, how can we trust
It's a hard
people
one
anymore?
because I think influencer marketing when done right is I think it's the best if you've got a big budget obviously or a decent sized budget. It's the most effective way to get your product in front of your potential future customers, especially if your product's like niche centric. Like if you, I don't know, one that would be good for me is I've got long hair. Male hair bands is a massively untapped market. So if one of my an influencer I follow also has long hair, starts selling male hair bands, that's an ideal niche audience that could help me. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so effective. But then again, you think that all sponsored post will have an ad, but that's not the case. So many times someone will just slice on some money, they won't have ad, and because no one's actually going to care, no one's going to pull them up on it unless you're a multi-millionaire like Stephen Bartlett. That's the only time you'll ever get caught by the actual law.
And like this is not the only thing. Like another thing, it's not just paid promotions anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
paid advertising. It's thinking about like people promoting their own business sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Can you trust them just because they've got a big following? Can you actually trust them? And a very good example here is what I noticed a lot on LinkedIn. It's like it's the number one game on LinkedIn right now where people who sell like any kind of lead gen or marketing services and so on, they always have this shitty lead magnet tactic. We've talked about it
Oh,
last week, right?
I take credit for
Um,
that, by the way. I was the first person that I know of to use that on LinkedIn. I stole it from Instagram about halfway through 2024. So I take credit for being the first one. I take credit. I ruined the platform, my bad. I just stole it from Instagram.
but so what they do is they'll use as a hook of their post or as the main promotional engine saying, or even other headline saying like, I got 300, some even are crazy. I've seen people claim like I've got 2,000 inbound leads.
I see. Oh, I haven't
And
seen
it's a
2,000
very,
inbound. I've never seen
I've seen
2,000
it.
inbound, but
I've seen it. I can show you who says it.
I've seen 2,000 outbound before, and that was awful. That was really, really bad.
Uh, so people make those big claims like I make 2,000 inbound leads, and everybody is suddenly like, oh, I'm trying. I got one in 3 months. What the fuck? This guy must be, onto something. But what they're actually doing is they're using very clever and loose wording. So most people think, oh, I'm getting inbound leads. They think like, oh, people are inquiring, sending DMs, asking about your service
Oh, can
or
I
the
discuss
business
it?
because they're
Okay.
interested.
Okay, like they when I think of an inbound lead, I think of a message that says something along the lines of, "I've saw your post about this, or I've seen X on your website, or I've seen X thing that you do about your business. I do X. Is there anything we can do?" That's what I picture is an inbound lead. But what a lot of these guys do is they just. I know one guy used to class an inbound connection request from his ideal client as an inbound lead. That's not a lead. I know lead's not a factual thing. It's very like an intangible definition, but inbound connection request isn't a lead. A like on your LinkedIn post isn't a lead, but that's what these guys consider leads. Like they consider someone commenting, I don't know, pick an X word that people do, like, I don't know, marketing. Say comment marketing for X lead magnet. They assume anyone who comments marketing is there as a lead, when that's just not the case. It's so bullshit.
It's that whole kind of bullshit circle where they go like, oh, I get shit ton of leads. Therefore, if you comment or you like a post, you're gonna get my formula to get shit ton of leads as well. But the
And the
funny thing is
formula
they
is
don't
do
they
this.
don't actually have any leads, but then everybody sees that and then everybody starts commenting and now they count, oh, you've commented, so therefore you're a lead. And next week they've got, oh, we've got 100 more leads last week, and we've got 100 more leads, and then after 6 months they got, I got 2,000 leads. No, you just kept telling people you're getting leads, and everybody just started commenting on your post.
Oh, it's
But
a massive psyop. It's a massive
90%,
psyop.
90%, 90% of those people aren't qualified to buy from you. They're not interested in buying anything. They just want your free fucking PDF.
Like, ever since I stopped working in like chronically online industries and started working in more like real world ones, I've had to stop using that tactic because the guys who work in real world industries and not the online ones think you're a massive dickhead if you do stuff like that. They do really do, and I don't blame them. I refuse to do the comment X word for X thing personally.
So, so that's the thing. So, with shady tactics like this, where people just make shit up, um, all the time, they promote products that they don't use or never use. They promote products that they don't research, like sometimes they don't even know what the product does. Um, and then like they're clearly getting paid or they're using some shady tactics to extort more money from people. How can we protect ourselves from
Truth be
literally getting influenced and potentially scammed? How can we tell who's truthful, who is actually being real with us and giving us like real advice, actionable advice based on experience, real opinion, or like an actual review of the product that they use? How can we tell?
tru- Truth be told, if that post is done extremely well, like from a proper someone who understands PR and communications and all that sort of stuff, you can't really tell just off the content. You can tell if you're getting a one-to-one conversation with them. I'd say that's the easiest way to tell if someone's legit or if someone's achieved what they can do and all that sort of stuff. If you can get them on a one-on-one call, you can usually tell if you've got enough experience or you've had enough real conversations. But if that original post where they're making their claims is of high quality, you probably can't tell how legit they are straight away. It's just a shame. That's how the internet works, in my opinion.
So I've got a few more bits to the call thing. I think getting on a call definitely helps
That's
if you're
the surefire way, I think. That's the surefire way.
if you're considering buying a service, getting on a call definitely helps, but I'll keep an eye on a couple of things during that call. Number one, are they asking you actual like questions about your business to try and understand it or your situation, whatever they're selling? And are they using like FOMO tactics? That's a big red flag for me. Like if they constantly say like, "Oh, you're not making this much per month, or you're not doing this. If you buy our thing, then you could do this, and you could, or our client did this." If they keep like pushing FOMO, um,
Uh, I don't. It
I
depends on
feel
what they're
like that's a
selling in
bit,
the FOMO. It's like for general stuff, I agree. Like buy this business course or whatever. But for example, like a lot of the industries I work in have like a buy-in season, and I'm like, if you want to take advantage of this buying season, you have to start by X date. Like that's not even trying to create FOMO. That's saying this is your
yeah,
big
but
buying
that's
season.
like
You have.
data driven. That's a data driven thing. Right? Like
Oh, okay.
I had a chat with a client today, and I said like, okay, well, we need to push actual lead gen now for February and March because April is end of tax year and people freeze spend. That's logical. That makes sense. It's not like, oh, if you don't buy this, you're not gonna make this much money, and this guy who bought it made this much money.
Oh, okay. You mean like
Right?
the like slimy FOMO tactics that aren't based on like hard logic or
Yeah.
stats.
Yeah, that aren't based on actual statistics. It's just always like, you're not one of us. If you don't buy from us, you're never gonna be successful. Like anything that's actually like makes you as a customer feel smaller and is like demeaning to you almost. If they're trying to put you down, that's a big red flag. That's a no from me. If they actually like say, this is what we do, this is how it's gonna work, this is the results you can expect based on our previous data, right? And experience. Different than just keep pushing it. Well, if you don't do this, you're never gonna be this, you're never gonna achieve this, right? You shouldn't have to like, if you're an expert in your field, you don't have to put your customers down and make them feel shit. But maybe it's just my way.
So what are the red flags you think you should look out for on the call? Because I've got a couple to add if you don't have any more, but I'm assuming you do.
Well, that's the things that I said mainly, like looking for, are they actually listening? If they're not listening, if they're just like telling you about their thing, if they're using like slimy FOMO, and they're just like pushing you into a decision quickly, it's too much. It's probably a bit pushy. And also, I always say check with someone else. Never just go for one choice.
Oh, like compare
See the
like two or three.
yeah, compare with the competition. Compare with the competition always.
One thing that I personally think you can
One
notice
thing,
is how
sorry. One
they.
last thing. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is as well.
I think that's me personally. I think that's a very like generic business saying that because there's some sometimes people think very reasonable things are too good to be true. Like one of my, I shortened a client sales cycle from 11 months down to 7 last year. And a lot of people think I'm bullshit when I say that. But then when I connect them with, like, they think that's too good to be true. When I connect them with that client, they're very happy. They literally back that up. You know what I mean? So it depends what the claim is. Do you know what because shortening your sales cycle by 4 months shouldn't be seen as too good to be true. It should be seen as very realistic. But some people have been burnt in the past and then think that's too good to be true, if you know what I mean.
With, you know, use the brain, check competition, and
I don't know. It's that one's a very interesting point. 'Cause I think that's kind of comes into like the generic LinkedIn business buzz phrase sort of thing that a lot of like people promote all the time. It's sort of like when people say like you need to be authentic in your marketing methods and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of just a generic phrase. Whilst if something's too good to be true, it probably is. It's just this kind of this buzzword, buzz phrase that's stood the test of time for a few years a lot of the time, in my opinion. But anyway, the big one that I think you should look out for if you think the guy could be scamming is see what their sales process is like especially in the DMs, because very rarely you just book straight into a calendar from seeing a piece of content or whatever. You only chat to them in Instagram DMs, LinkedIn DMs, email or whatever. And if their emails are very much like, we need you on a call, we need you on a call, we need you on a call, and they're not giving you straight answers in DMs, run away. Like if I ask for someone's pricing in the DMs and they say, I like going through it on a call, instant red flag. Just tell us how much you charge. Because if you're not telling me before the call, what are you trying to hide? Just let us know how much you charge, bro. It's not deep. And I remember one guy used to, what kind of a competitor, I suppose, but I remember speaking to him, what he used to do is he would not open any slots on his calendar and message, but when he's talking to a lead in DMs, he'd say something along the lines of, we're fully booked, but I've got one slot. I'll open it up for you if you're ready to book right now, just to make it seem like they're super, super busy, when in reality, they're just blocked off all the times in the calendar. It's like the Fugazi sort of stuff. If they don't give you a straight answer in DMs, run away. That's a red flag. If someone asks me my price, I tell them the price in 2 lines. If someone asks me a specific point in my service, I tell them it in a line. It's not difficult to be straight up with people. If they're not straight up, red flag, run away.
if so that's on like the sales side, but again on the influencer side, there's a couple of other things that I believe people should always be checking. The one thing in terms of like, is this a paid promotion? Is this review rigged? Is do they sound like everyone else? Is there like a specific sentence that they always say, right? Like, lovable always got this, no coding experience needed, no coding experience, and it's always the same sentence. And everybody who says it, like, if you think about it, a real user isn't going to say that, right? They'll explain maybe their situation and say something, this is how I used it. But if every single review you look at, like the structure is similar, the sentence, and there's like a specific sentence or text that always says the same thing, they're just reading a script. They're just absolutely reading a script, which, again, the claim might be true, but you should be careful. So I would always check like other reviews. Don't just look at one, or this guy said it's great, let me just buy it. Look at other reviews. Do they sound like everybody else? Good old Reddit, Google, YouTube, check reviews there, right? Can you see actual real user reviews? But also read the comments. Because people love arguing in the comments, right? Whereas do you remember, like, you go on Reddit or YouTube, you watch a video, people are always like arguing in the comments. So if somebody's full of shit, the chances are the comment section is gonna tell you right away. So like that's another thing. I wouldn't even like trust AI. We've talked about it, right? Because most people will like, oh, let me just ask AI. Is this true? The problem with that is it will just like look at the website or just again look at, oh, a lot of people are saying this. And there's always this one sentence, right? Where it might not like pick up user reviews from actual comments and so on.
I think
So
a lot of the time when I think the point you made about does this look like everyone else? I think that's the biggest one when you're like, does this make me want to trust them? Like especially with like UGC or direct influencer posts, if they're telling a similar like the way for some reason the first that comes to my mind is like beauty products and that sort of stuff. So a lot of the times they do this to like subtly market their brand. They'll send beauty products from an influencer who literally puts that on like get ready with me or something along those lines. So if that one product keeps showing up in similar sort of stories, that's probably a sign when there's probably some backhanded marketing going on.
anything on adding to trusting people online?
Just speak to them directly. If you're fairly confident they're running their own account if you DM them, they'll respond. DM them. But if you think someone else is running their account, I wouldn't make a purchase until you directly speak with them face to face. That's the only way to 100% guaranteed know if it's a legit service or a legit offering or whatever.
Always. Shall we move to one of the other topics? There's some amazing topics. I kind of want to go with the big one.
What, the $1 billion, image rights?
Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. For those who don't know, KB Lame, which is a TikToker, it's the guy who never speaks and just makes funny videos. He's just sold a majority stake in his company and brand IP for nearly $1 billion, which for a guy making funny, unedited videos with no script, no talking on TikTok, it's pretty fucking crazy. It's the biggest payout, I believe, for a creator.
If you want to know how
So
much this
far.
actually is, in 2015, Cristiano Ronaldo, sold his image rights for 6 years for, I believe it was 60 million euros or euros a year. So for a 6-year deal, Cristiano Ronaldo, most famous man in the world, practically. If he's not number one, he's top 10, right? Sold it for what? What's that? Just under 400 mil a decade ago. That's how crazy this is.
Yep. And this is a guy making funny videos on TikTok.
Cristiano Ronaldo, the number 7 for Real Madrid, winning multiple Ballon d'Ors in a few-year time frame. That's how much this attention economy's changed in a decade.
It's crazy. So the deal authorizes the creation of an AI digital twin.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
Allowing for 24/7 multilingual live. Well, he doesn't speak, so multilingual live stream, shopping and virtual ads. So we're about to see a shit ton of adverts with his AI face on every single platform.
Because most people won't know that he's even sold his image rights, realistically. Most people won't check the news and see this. They'll just be scrolling, being like, "What's this guy doing here?" Realist, like no one will know this information. It's so weird. Like what? Oh, it's mad. It's mental. I don't understand it. It's crazy.
Yes. So they actually think I've read this is not in the summary here, but I've read another article. They reckon that they can make $4 billion profit
Gee.
on that deal
Mate,
just by using
in,
him to advertise products.
probably right, to be honest. Because if you've got because AI, you can then use his face to promote like what 100 different products in 100 different niches a day, basically. You're
Not
not
sure what the
you
plan is exactly, but yeah.
like you're not can. I remember watching a pilot talk about how their road pilots can be replaced by AI because like a real human pilot has to sleep. They have to go and take a piss. This AI version of this guy doesn't have to sleep. He doesn't have to piss. So they can just use some AI to keep using his face and more AI and just it's crazy. They're basically just guaranteed what hundreds, if not thousands, of viral posts every single week. It's
Well,
like the price does sound crazy, like it does sound nuts, but they will make easy profit on that. Most likely break even within 12 months, just because of how
so
many
there's
different brands and different niches they can use that for. It's
yeah, and
nuts.
the thing about his brand, right? The thing about his brand, because his brand is silent, this is even easier. Like he doesn't need to speak. He doesn't need to say anything, which means his ads work against across any culture and language,
It's crazy. It's so
right?
they'll make so much money. I know spending $900 million or whatever they did.
That's how he got so popular, right? That's how he got so popular.
He's the perfect AI
It's
influencer, like he
absolutely
is.
crazy. But it's interesting concept as well. Yeah.
He's the perfect one. He doesn't talk.
So that's interesting that, they're no longer like it's not about just like paid ads anymore, but like there's a lot of I've seen a few. We've talked about what was it? What's the big AI company that does voice and sounds?
Sound
11
Labs.
Labs. 11
11 Labs.
Labs.
Close.
Yeah, we talked about it 4 weeks ago on the show. They started selling AI voices as well. So they're getting influencers to sign deals where they can use their voices. So you can use whatever, you can sound like whatever famous personality and use their voice on your video. So that's the whole kind of licensing model of human likeness of the physical appearance and the voice. That's becoming a whole market right now,
This is
where all of
another
these companies try to get, get a rather than paying influencer anymore for like to do something, they're just paying for the right to use their face and voice.
this is another reason potentially why organic content is just gonna keep getting harder and harder and harder to do. At least the social media organic posts that aren't high quality, that don't have super great, editing, production ideas. Because if companies don't have to hire influencers anymore and just take the rights deals for AI, what's a normal person with a random phone speaking in front of a camera gonna do against someone who's got a pre-established connection with an audience?
Curious to see where this is going to go over the next couple of years. Because it's gonna be like I said, like who the fuck is real anymore online?
Well, AI slop is also is currently massively damaging YouTube, in my opinion. Like my little godson watches YouTube all the time. Everything he watches is just AI slop. No humans he sees. It's just AI voices over AI edited videos that are just saying nothing. But because there's loads of colors and 50 edits a second, the dopamine brain is just constantly bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Like It's nuts.
You
It's
can see that as well. If you go into like incognito mode and go into unlogged, not logged in YouTube homepage, all you see is just slop, 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 shorts, 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 shorts.
like I don't. I know we've said this a lot, but honestly, I don't know what this world looks like in a couple of years. Will it go back to people being so fatigued from the internet? It goes back to normal television where you need to, have achieved something or have a set quality before you ever get put on the air. Is that what it's going to all lead back to? Something like that? Or will it remain unregulated? Because I know live streaming, I don't understand live streaming either. Like, like in real life streams where someone goes around for like 12 hours and someone just films what they do and stream it on Kick or whatever. I don't understand that, why people enjoy that. It's like a long, unedited YouTube video, but that's really popular, especially in my little cousin's 13, and all his mates watch live streaming every single day, just in real life streams.
You can tell they're real.
Honestly, I
Probably.
don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know what happens. I think the most likely bet is something along the lines of
I
TV
mean,
makes a
it's the
massive
same
cut.
thing. This is live streaming is not a new thing. Like it's essentially Big Brother from 20 years
No,
ago, done on
no,
a
live
national
streaming is not a
scale.
new thing. But streaming your life 12 hours a day where you're not saying anything and a camera's just filming what you do. Like a lot of these
Yeah.
times, people aren't even doing anything. Like it's like live streaming me sitting here with my headphones on doing work, looking at my laptop. Why are you live streaming that? Why do people these days like watching stuff like that? I don't get it. I really don't. Plus, streaming has a really
No.
big problem with view button as well. It's so
The
easy just to
brain
view
rot,
button, get on the
brain rot,
homepage.
brain rot is getting crazy as well. It's crazy. Anyway, I think it's enough of that topic. Do you want to pick the next one?
Let's go with the authenticity paradox because this is the one that I really like and I kind of alluded to it earlier. Like you see a lot of the big LinkedIn guru advice or marketing advice or social media advice, be really authentic in your posts, but that advice is often said with very little context, in my opinion. Like, yes, be authentic, be yourself, use words that you would personally say, but don't make yourself look like a horse waiting to be put down. That no, because like there's a guy that I follow. He always talks about his mental health struggles on LinkedIn, which I'm like, fine, go for it. But doing that every single day while trying to run a business, it's it sounds really bad. But if you're like making it look like you're gonna get put down and you're a horse and you're gonna get put down in a week's time for mental health issues, someone's not gonna invest 10 grand in a year-long project with you. They're not. It sounds shocking. Even if you're struggling behind the scenes but you appear really strong, you're more likely to get invested in. You're more likely to win new contracts and everything along those lines.
I have that as well. I think there's like a once in a while, it's okay. And also there's a good talking point here and a good topic like share the struggle after you've come up with a solution. Don't just
Yeah,
complain. Don't just, oh,
I,
this is shit, I'm struggling. It
I
might bring
would,
some clicks, right? The thing is, that's the problem, like, because it actually gets people to click,
and
and
people to
people are so
support it.
addicted to the social clout and do that mean, yeah. So you'll get a lot of nice comments, sure. People, oh, you can do it, get through it, well done for coming out. Like a lot of people gonna like your posts,
But no one will actually
but
help you, really.
does it really help? Yeah, that's one thing. And second thing is it might not actually be good for your authority level. Like we've talked, if you're trying to portray yourself as an expert um, on a topic, because if people only see you as complaining, how can you possibly help them when they're struggling if they can only see you struggling all the time?
Yeah. A big one as well that I would bring attention to is what you said, don't make posts complaining. But I personally would only make that vulnerable sort of post where you're talking about a specific struggle once you've already came to the solution and implemented the solution and you're past that point. Always look at it retrospectively. Don't make that vulnerable post as you're going through it. Personally, like for example, if you're struggling with burnout, don't make a post that day, like in your prime of burnout, saying how hard you find it, how much you're struggling, yada yada yada, because that's just not going to make you look good.
I think you highlighted a good talking point there as well.
But it kind of brings up the whole performance. I think I mentioned, did I rant about this last week? It might be in the week before. But it's the performative bullshit of just general B2B. Like, people need to make themselves appear so important because they play these office politics every day, especially in in-person office jobs. And they come on LinkedIn and like role play as someone super successful and super up to date who works 20 hours a day when in reality they're just a fucking nerd. Like, that's the reality. They bring this performative bullshit from their corporate job to appear like this visionary thought leader and all that. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You paid to speak at this event that you sold 10 tickets to sit on a table for, just to get a photo speaking in front of a bunch of people who don't care about who you are. It's bullshit. It's the performative bullshit that existed in corporate UK, corporate America, that's now ended up on LinkedIn and other social platforms. It's bullshit. It's proper bullshit. Because no one talks like this in real life. I'm probably going to get us cancelled with that little rant.
The president? Hello, Mr. President. Oh, wait, the takes are too hot? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, there's a good talking point here. Like, people might not want like a perfect robot, that's true. They do want a leader, but someone who understands the pain, but also knows a way out of it. Right? Otherwise, how can, again, people trust you to help them if you cannot help yourself?
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Building authority is.
I'm trying to think of a good example where people do this performative authenticity bullshit. Well, I think the prime example is of things like 5 things getting engaged taught me about insert industry or insert LinkedIn. Like, I saw one last weekend of some guy going to get his wedding suit, like buying a suit for his wedding, and he was like, "What this taught me about LinkedIn outreach." And I was like, "Oh my god, bro! I've spoken to you before. You're a cool guy. What are you doing with this bullshit?" And he was like, maintain the relationships like LinkedIn outreach, because even on your bad days, you need to nurture your prospects or your wife. And I'm like, mate, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Like, surely the only accounts that would like or engage with that is the AI account who engage on everything. Because a normal person would surely look at that and think, wow, you are a dickhead. Surely. What would you say, Sally?
I think that's one for LinkedIn lunatics. Have you been to that?
Yeah,
on Reddit?
I follow the X account.
There's a
That posts the
subreddit
highlights
for like all the cringe.
I think they run the Twitter. They will run the LinkedIn Lunicas Twitter account as well, and that's the one that I see the highlights of. Like, I know that guy as well, and I've spoken to him. He used to be like a decent amateur boxer, and it just does my nut. And why do people what brings them people to do like that? Well, the performative bullshit we just spoke about, I suppose. Attention.
Right.
Like, side note on that, I actually think if you know, the generic like LinkedIn sort of content, it brings out the organic content discussion we had earlier. That I think that will die this year. So the only way, like by the end of the year, the only LinkedIn content that will perform well is if it is super niche. Like if you're targeting one specific industry, you can become well known in that one small subset. But the mix of this weird performative bullshit slop, you got the AI slop, and you've got every 3 posts being a sponsored ad, and then all the like fake influencer posts. I think that's just going to die because it has to, because people don't like it. The only thing that engage with it is AI. And most people I know are just clicking X on the top right hand corner when they see that and are only seeing niche stuff. And
People don't like a lot of things, but it's just like we're moving into this stage where every single person on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on X, is literally there to sell something.
yeah, that's true.
Nobody actually like just goes there to share their opinion or share something about the expertise or their life anymore. We're past that era of social media is, in my opinion, completely gone. Even on X, when I started, right, a few months ago, and just spend a bit of time there, and I started noticing like same thing as on LinkedIn. Every fucking tweet is trying to sell you something.
Oh, I think X is even worse than LinkedIn.
Unless they're like a famous person and then they're just writing shit, right?
I think X is actually
And
worse
they
than
got a job.
LinkedIn. Because you've got like on X, you've got the Alex Hormozy, Emad Ghazi school of thought where people just post like some super meaningful 2-line quote that tries to make them look super important. And all the comments are saying stuff like saying, yeah, you need that discipline to achieve your goals. I'm building something big, so I work 16 hours a day. It's bullshit. X is even more bullshit than LinkedIn because the type of males that use that platform is pathetic. It's pathetic. Like, I would beat the living fuck out of them if I ever saw any of them. It's embarrassing.
So yeah, I think we're past the time where social media is actually about sharing
I think the reason that is as
something.
well, is because to succeed
Although
with organic.
you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna stop you. You know what? Facebook might still be the the one bit where people actually share something personal and not
So
trying to
like,
sell you shit.
I think there is still people like on TikTok, on X, or even Instagram who do, and even LinkedIn probably do try and make posts just about their life and cool stuff like that. But the issue is now to succeed in organic content, you have to be so religiously consistent. And the only people who are willing to be that consistent are people who need some sort of monetary gain from that. Like, I'm sure there will be loads of cool accounts on TikTok that just share about their life, post 2 or 3 times a week. But if you only post 2 or 3 times a week, the algorithm isn't going to push you out, especially on TikTok. Same with X. You need share volume. You need on LinkedIn and on X, you need to reply to so many tweets to get your posts out there. And if you're just sharing some casual stuff about your life, you're not going to do all the engagement and no one's going to see it. So I'm sure those accounts are out there posting some cool stuff, but you're just not going to see it because the way these platforms have somehow worked.
Exactly. I noticed LinkedIn's going into that whole commenting game. They adjusted their thing. X is all
Ah,
about being a reply guy right now. Instagram was always about being a reply guy.
was it?
Even I
How
remember
was
when
it?
I only played about with it at the start, but I remember you had to like when you made a new account to get like first 1,000 followers, you had to just like follow for follow spam and just
Oh
like
yeah, it was
reply
follow for follow. Yeah.
and DM people and engage with people. And X is the same. You get a follow for follow and reply guy. I've seen a guy who um went absolutely crazy. I've seen a guy who was dropping 1,000 comments every day.
Manual comments.
Yeah.
What do you
So,
comment on?
but he grew to like 10,000 followers in 2 fucking months. So it just shows how stupid it is. Um,
It's like I think the
just
X
spamming
growth
comments,
experts.
nothing else, just spamming comments.
The X growth experts are even worse than the LinkedIn growth experts, I think. So at least like the
at least the
LinkedIn,
at least the X experts don't charge you 6 grand for a course yet.
but like
Whereas on LinkedIn they do.
at least the LinkedIn ones, like now they use AI, but at least they used to write like a 12-line post themselves. X is like a 2-line quote about something bullshit business related.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly about, yeah, main thing on X, people just post like revenue graphs and garbage. So all of the social media,
And X has a lot of faceless accounts as well that just post bullshit.
a lot of
And
the
like
social media is going into that space, whereas literally, like I would say, majority of the content produced are literally people trying to sell you something.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
At least the ones you see anyway, because to even get any traction on like content organically now, you've got to be consistent with it. You got to post like on LinkedIn at least 3 times a week. On X, you got to post like 3 times a day. TikTok, you got to post multiple times a day as well. And you're only going to be that consistent if there's a monetary goal at the end of it. You know what I mean?
and like we say, you have to engage, reply to people, follow for follow, spam. It's absolutely useless. I'm starting to think, like I said, I think Facebook is the only. It's full of shit as well. It's full of ads. It's full of shrimp Jesus and other AI garbage and like religious shit.
Facebook
But
groups are
actually, there are
underrated,
still
you know.
people like I stopped using Facebook years ago, and I barely ever used it. But I still like have that account that I made like God knows 10, 12 years ago, and I followed a bunch of people that I know, and I still see them occasionally posting stuff about like, oh, I went to the wedding, I ran a marathon. They post same shit about their life they used to, right? So I'm starting to think like Facebook is now the only authentic social media platform because on Instagram everybody's fake, on LinkedIn everybody's fake, on X everybody's fake.
Facebook. I've used Facebook groups before.
TikTok is just ads. What else? YouTube is the only like creator platform where people actually create content. But
That's
that's
also
because they got the
the highest barrier to entry as well, and that's getting starting to get invaded with AI slop.
yeah. But even the AI flop on YouTube is hard to do. It like requires a shit ton of work to like get anything out of it, and they demonetized it recently as well. So you can no longer like monetize it, get money from advertising. So the only time you can do anything with it is if you sell something. So if you use the AI crap to promote and sell and advertise something else. So it's starting to crack down. Or people just farm accounts and sell the accounts. That's a thing as well, apparently.
Oh yeah,
People
definitely.
like people like get to 1,000 subscribers, whatever, and then they sell the account or 10,000 or whatever. So that's still a thing. But YouTube is like the last bastion of real content.
That's why it does make me think there's got to be something like brewing. There'll be some startup out there who has this genius social media platform where AI can't infiltrate it and something along those lines that's currently brewing that'll explode in the next couple of years. There's been what? I mean, Substack tried to do that and it kind of failed. But it's been what, 2018 since TikTok first blew up? We're due another big social platform coming out in the next few years. Maybe that'll be the savior.
I don't know. It's like it's no longer possible. And the reason like LinkedIn pushes the comments and advertising and engagement and starts locking people in into the premium subscription.
Oh, that was a
Twitter is
disgrace, by the way. That when you made the post today, that LinkedIn now search features are behind premium. Are you taking the piss? That's another
You can't
reason why.
even look for people because they don't want you to look for people. They don't want you to actually connect with people and talk to people. They want you to either watch feed and post content and talk to people in comments, right? Or they want you to pay 120 for Sales Navigator and sell shit, or pay for ads. They don't want you to actually, you cannot use the platform for connection anymore. It's now a social media. It's turned into full-on social media. But it's actually most of the people are still there looking for a job.
No, I
So it's
know.
that weird space where like 70% of the platform is still like job seekers.
I think
But
I
it's
think
still saying
LinkedIn's
social
honestly
media
gonna.
because, right? Because what job seekers do, job seekers are out of fucking work and they've got fuck all to do during the day.
They
So
spend
let's
an
give
hour
them
applying to
some
jobs and
AI
then
fluff and
scroll
social media, right?
and puzzles.
Yeah.
It's why I said earlier. I think LinkedIn is got a year left. Honestly, I think it's killing itself. I really do.
We'll see. But I don't think there's going to be any new social media because the economics of social media don't work. The reason the platforms are becoming so shit is because they're not unsustainable. Because video storage, image is not so bad, but like, and text, but anything that allows you to upload video is so expensive. The bandwidth is so expensive. It's crazy. That's why I pushed back. Like I thought, oh, should we add like video to Founders Tree? Um, and I looked, I run the math, and I'm like, fuck. Like if we can't charge like 10 quid per user per month, right? We can't have video because that's gonna be the cost to just have people post videos. It's gonna be like 10 quid a month for every
Well, that's
fucking single user.
that's why
Um,
Spotify doesn't make any profit. Like Spotify don't make profit. They just keep rolling their money over.
is it? I mean, they're
Yeah,
investing, right?
yeah. Like because Spotify can't upgrade, like charge anymore because Apple Music charge the exact same as them, Amazon Music, all that sort of stuff because they're selling the same service. If they suddenly up their price by $5 a month, that's why the free tier, you've got ads on your home screen at all times whenever you're playing a song, and every two songs get an audio ad. It's why mobile games as well.
Yeah, because the free model just doesn't work anymore.
The free
Because people
model
are
now is
malicious.
like you get so many users and then you sell the company. That's what the free model is. To then someone who then mines it
Yeah,
for money.
especially um, like YouTube. YouTube can survive only because they're owned by Google, and they use the data they get from YouTube to serve more ads. If Google didn't have the ad business, the biggest ad business in the world, YouTube would be losing money. They only make money because Google can use that data to make fucking billions on advertising.
Yeah.
If they didn't use that, YouTube actually would be losing money. That's why they stopped 4K. 4K video is premium only, right? Now I think, which absolutely makes sense because if you look at 4K video storage, it's crazy. And I know you're not much into tech, not everyone is, but like the actual storage cost, the cost of hard drives and storage and bandwidth, that has stopped progressing a few years ago. We were at a space like, from like 2000 to 2012, 2015, it was like, ooh, bigger hard drives, bigger storage, cheaper, 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 right? Um, you've seen laptops were moving like, oh, it's got half a gig, now it's got 2 gig, now it's got 10, now it's got 200, now it's got 500, now it's got a terabyte. Now laptops have had a fucking terabyte hard drive for 7 years. And it's not going up. Why it's not going up? Because the costs stay the same. They're not getting cheaper. We stopped making bigger storage, and it stopped getting cheaper. It's actually getting more expensive because now all the data centers, all the AI bullshit, and all the big platforms, they need more and more and more. They're buying out. Microsoft actually had a massive problem with the data centers. Microsoft now has like buying reps going to like all different countries across the world and like even going into shops and like buying fucking hard drives because they cannot buy any more hard drives because it's out of stock everywhere. They bought everything they could buy. Now they're going to fucking supermarkets buying hard drives.
So I remember seeing one of the TikTok executives talk once saying they will get the point where they'll just start deleting all their videos just off the platforms, they'll never be found again. Like if that's what they said they'd start doing eventually. So I imagine YouTube will do the same thing at some point. That video you loved in 2011 will probably just disappear one day.
Maybe that's the thing, yeah. Maybe they'll start like deleting or deactivating stuff. I don't know, but how that's gonna go? Technically they can, but in another way they can't because
Well, BBC used to do it. BBC, because obviously television back in the day,
I
you
mean
would
telly
film it
is
on an
different,
actual.
right?
No, but it's a comparable from what the 50s. This is similar to what was happening with television in
Yeah,
the 50s.
because on TV you pay for license when
No, this
you
I'm
when
talking
you
about. You're missing
on TV.
the point. What I'm saying. I'm gonna go back to what I'm saying. In like the 50s, BBC had to start because obviously they would film things on tape. The equivalent of hard drive in the 50s and the 60s. So they pretty much would like the classics. There's hundreds of episodes of Doctor Who from the 60s and 70s that are just have been lost to time. The first 6 seasons of the Avengers were just thrown out. Like there was one Doctor Who episode that was found at a car boot sale 50 years later because they just threw it out and someone picked it up and sold it at a car boot sale 50 years later. Like that's genuinely what BBC used to do. The equivalent of hard drive then was actual film, this like film discs. But they threw that out because obviously they need physical storage to store that and they didn't have it, so they just threw it out. So I imagine the social media equivalent is just deleting them permanently. And if anyone's downloaded them, then that's the equivalent of getting that tape back in the day.
The social media can come because it costs too much to scale it. It's too hard. Like, if look at what was it, Meta with threads? Who the fuck's using threads?
Now there will be one unicorn that will come through. It's been that way since like the dawn of human time. The best idea will get there. It's probably
But
we
like,
just
what
haven't
would be
thought
the
of it
format?
yet.
Like, what would be the differentiator? Because it will need something.
Oh, it'll
It
need
will
something
need something
unique.
big, something different.
I just don't know what that unique thing
That's the
is. It's
question.
not. I'm not gonna be the one bringing it to market, but I imagine someone will. Someone out there will have a genius idea, and then one day, bang, done. That's what
Maybe
Vine
it's
did
gonna be
back in the
me. Maybe
day.
we'll add content to.
It might be Founder Street. You never know. But that's what
Maybe
Vine
we'll
did
add
back in
content
the
on
day.
the street.
Like in 2013, no one thought of no one thought of a 6 second video would be able to like permanently damage an entire generation. And then Vine just created it so you could only film a 6 second video. And 5 years later, it was sold to TikTok for a fucking fortune. No, not TikTok, YouTube. But it was sold for fucking fortune. Genius idea. No one back then thought of 6 second videos. Now you go TikTok 6 second videos every time. Someone out there will have a genius idea. I just don't know what that idea is. Cool. Let's go to garbage data point 17, the dirty data AI crisis for mine. Because I'm someone who like sources data almost for clients, if that's what you want to call it. In terms of like I do a lot of market research, so I can tailor marketing campaigns, all that sort of stuff. And I managed to create some AI agents last year that were amazing for like 2 months. But even when I would put new data in there that I would source, the AI agent that I created would look at it. It's like 100%, like all of it is one data, if you know what I mean. So it'd look at the old stuff and give that the same weight as the new stuff. So then every month or 6 weeks, they'd have to create a whole new agent every time to just look at the new data. And that's obviously a lot of hassle. But so I understand people who don't do the manual data collection would be concerned that the data is out of date. 17, the dirty data AI crisis.
You said that 60% of founders worry the data is making decisions based on garbage data. Most small businesses have messy spreadsheets and siloed emails and just other random bits of information scattered, leading to AI hallucinations. Don't we love that? Well, so the trend for 2026 is data hygiene. Are you spending this quarter cleaning your records before you let AI touch them? Because everybody wants to integrate AI, but as Joe said, if you don't give it the right thing, the right data in the right format, it's probably gonna start filling in the blanks by itself.
Like
And
the reason I think AI hasn't replaced me yet personally is I am so good at creating manual lead lists in a time efficient manner, and that's only because I know like the massive red flag. I used a what AI did I use? I used SalesNav plus an AI agent in December, and there was just a 200 lead list I didn't want to look through. And the AI couldn't pick up on little subtle red flags in the lead list that I only know because I've worked in these industries for a year plus, if you know what I mean. Like they didn't pick up on the company having 3 Nigerian sales rep on the company page, like in the people section. But I did because I've worked in that space for so long and I looked at it manually. So I honestly think one of the reasons I haven't been replaced yet, the main one, is I can create amazing lead lists. And if you let AI do it, they'll include the company with 3 Nigerian sales reps in the people section on your company page.
So that's the thing, right? And I said the same thing about like how we can make Founders Tree better is because all the other companies are just trying to use LinkedIn data, which is mostly not filled in properly. It's messing stuff. It's not standardized in any way because everybody puts a different thing in a different way and different bits of information on their profile. So there's no like standardized format to the data.
It's even like some of like I work a lot in energy, right? And a lot of like the energy firms I work with, some will be listed as a business consultancy, some will be listed as a renewables and solar panel manufacturer, even though they're not, they just work in renewables. But they don't manufacture panels, but they work in renewables, so they have that as their industry. Some will have oil and gas, some will have manufacturing. You know what I mean? Like people list their data differently. And even Clay, I think Clay with their Clay is probably the best out there, but it's also it's like Lovable. You will waste a fortune if you don't know what you're doing on there.
It's still the same thing, right? Clay takes data from different sources. And if you list as one of those sources like LinkedIn, and if LinkedIn doesn't have that standardized and clean data, it's just gonna if the data is shit, it's gonna output shit, right? That's what we're talking about. Like
again,
AI doesn't finish. AI doesn't solve a mess, right? If you got bad data, and mess in your infrastructure, in your company, or in whatever resource you're using, the AI agent is gonna give you shit. If you give it crap, if you feed it rubbish, it's gonna give you rubbish. It's just gonna
You
automate the
can
rubbish,
you can
right?
enrich data on Clay though. That's the one that I was going to say why Clay I'd say is probably the best. But then again, it costs a fortune because it costs credits to enrich, and if you don't know how to enrich data, you will legitimately waste thousands on Clay. Like I'm deadly serious. It's like your issues with Lovable. Like you'll see Clay make sponsored posts saying things like, "Our data was responsible for X, Y, and Z." But okay, in theory it was, but the person was also an expert in enriching data to make, chicken salad out of you know what.
Um, so
Maybe
this is
that maybe,
actually a question for you.
that can be my when AI eventually does replace me. Maybe my job could be I create perfect lead lists because I know how to do it manually in a quick manner.
So that's a question for you, actually. It's a good talking point here. Even as a solopreneur, you should have like a single source of truth. Um, so like keeping all of your data in one space. Are you doing that now? I'm not. I'm guilty.
What do you
Um,
mean? Like in a CRM?
yeah, like in a CRM or
Oh,
on
then
a
yeah.
Google Drive, like have everything you need to use in like one place. Also in a structure, in a set structure that is predictable. So if you decide to get like an automation agent of any kind, it can know what to look for exactly because the data has a structure, right?
I think yeah, I've got that. I've got a set CRM for like business development. I've got custom GPTs built up to repurpose longer form content in multiple different short form ones. Then I've got like a Google Drive for myself and all clients that are like split everything up into like Q1 strategy, lead list location, links to everything else that I need. I'm quite good at that. But my own personal folder is a bit messy because I've got like 3 years of stuff in there, but I also don't want to delete the old stuff because memories. I'm nostalgic to old notes I made 3 years ago.
Maybe putting that in a separate drive somewhere.
Well,
Um,
the good old days where I had nothing to lose.
yeah,
Maybe that's a topic
just
we
to
could do
clean it
another
up.
day. Like I've never had more fun than I did in my first year of business. Purely because if I fucked up, who gave a fuck? You know what I mean? I had nothing to lose. It was the most fun I've ever had. I could just do stuff, and it didn't matter if it failed or succeeded. Well, now decisions have weight, and it's just unfortunate.
I want to talk about Apple and Google.
Which number?
Two. Siri.
Your number.
Siri, Apple AI has been shit since they started and tried implementing it. And they used OpenAI. They're swapping to Gemini. They're swapping to Google for all Apple products, um, which is a really, really massive pivot. They just signed a 1 billion annual deal with Google to integrate Gemini models into the whole Apple ecosystem. Um, so this means a couple of things. Number one, it means it ends the Apple's pursuit to make their own model. They kind of gave up on that. They tried and they figured out it's not worth it. Well, just use somebody else's. And another thing is it's bad news for ChatGPT and OpenAI number two, right? So there's two massive shifts. So I'm not sure if you remember 6 months ago, a year ago, Sam Altman from OpenAI was, oh, there will never be ads on ChatGPT. We'll never use ads. Ads will be like the last straw, the last dying breath, and only then we'll use ads. They're putting ads now. And at the same time, as they're saying, we're struggling, clearly, because they wouldn't consider it unless they needed the money. they're struggling, right? They're
That's
not
what we
making
mentioned.
any
What we
money. They're
mentioned
losing
before.
money.
So we mentioned
Yeah.
before that the model was just get users. Now they've got to monetize it somehow.
Um, well, they're charging for the cheap tiers, but it's not enough. It doesn't work. So not only they got shot by that and basically put their hands up and say, we're struggling, we gotta make money fast, we gotta put ads in. And at the same time, Apple, which we know is basically like biggest tech consumer company in the world. What does it do to their image if they're saying, actually, we're gonna go with Google. Google's better. That's a big, for someone this size, for Apple to tell people, actually, we're not gonna use ChatGPT.
Why do you think they chose Google over ChatGPT?
I think there's probably a bunch of like money side, but there's a money side to it, and there's gonna be other things behind the scenes. But the fact that they've picked this instead of that, it's a big player, right? It's a big player. Like iOS is still, I know Android's got like 70% of the market, but Android is a big ecosystem, right? Thousands of companies use Android. One company uses Apple. It's Apple. And they still got 30% on the market. And in US specifically, I believe Apple's still got like, I don't know, so much do they have? What's the market share of Apple in USA? I think it's like majority. It's crazy. 60%. 60% of the market. 60% of people in US have iPhone.
Nice.
So the fact that they're moving to Google is a big thing. And it's another plus for Google, who is actually, you know, probably the only AI platform who's actually making money. Which is funny because just a year ago, I'm not sure you remember, everybody was saying, Google's dead. ChatGPT, Google's dead. And now they got a better model, better search, signing better deals, making money. The tides have turned. But a couple of talking points, even the biggest tech giant in the world, Apple, which is as I said, they realized that building their own AI is just too expensive. So
And if
why?
Apple find it too expensive.
If Apple finds it too expensive, then it's a big signal, right? The question is, what's gonna come next as well? Are we gonna get AI agents with Gemini on iPhones right now
Jesus.
this year?
That would be pretty cool, you know. I'll tell
We
it.
probably will. We probably will. There's been somewhere in the topic. There you go. PayPal. There's another topic, right? PayPal brings AI agents to the payment platform, which basically means like you can do shopping on a website by just, hey, look for this and buy me this. You're gonna go to like Tesco's website, hey, do my shopping, and it's gonna go and pick everything for you and check out and order delivery.
The one on mobile,
So
the one on iPhone looked
people are
quite cool, you know.
integrating that into websites. I still wouldn't trust it. I still wouldn't trust it yet, but it's coming. We're not gonna stop it. It's gonna be a thing.
I think the one on mobile will make communication even worse because you'll end up saying to the AI agent on your iPhone, all the unread Instagram DMs I've got, reply to them in my tone of voice, and then I'll just reply to them all. Or reply to all my unread text messages in my tone of voice in a positive manner. Like, God, that's going to be awful. But it's going to, fucking hell, that's going to be bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm pushing for in-person meets on Founder Street, right? Because online it's just gonna be AI talking to AI. Nobody's gonna talk anymore to each other.
I wonder if this like changes like that will either just make people become like dumber by staying on their phone, just as pure habit of doing it for like a decade plus at this point, or they'll actually make a change. I reckon the majority will just get dumber. Like not
I don't know.
like for example.
It goes. I think it's just a mirror. It's an accelerator. So I don't think in general it changes anything. Right? Having access to internet didn't make people dumber. Having access to Google didn't make people dumber. But it spread the difference between dumb people and smart people. People who have been born gifted and curious and productive will just get so much further ahead. People who are lazy and not very smart are so much further behind. All it does, it just increases the gap. And I had this argument about
I disagree slightly.
AI.
I disagree slightly.
Yeah.
In the set, my one argument is that I would kind of disagree on. You say it guarantees makes the gap bigger, but I would personally argue, for example, so maybe someone in the gifted category just got so addicted and they got their attention span fried by their parents giving them a tablet at age 7. You know what I mean? So when they're still formative, when they're still growing up and developing. If you didn't get access to social media or any of this stuff until you were a grown adult, I would agree with you. But some kids might have ended up in the smart category, as you just said, but given them a device that ruined their attention span at a young age meant that couldn't happen. It's like discovering drugs as a 15-year-old or a 13-year-old. Do you know what I mean? It's that similar argument.
Like people used to say
Not about games.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's gonna fry your
about
brain
that.
if you just play games. It's gonna fry your brain. I used to be
Yeah.
massive into gaming. It was okay for me. I would say I've learned a lot from games.
But do you?
I think at the end of the day, it does
I
depend
think
on
the gaming topic's
personality.
I think the gaming topic's an interesting one because that is different to. You could argue the gaming topic is a kind of led into people not meeting each other face to face as much or that sort of thing. Because even though you're in the headset, like when my parents were younger, they used to just go out on the street and just play. But I remember I would have been about 10 maybe when I got an Xbox, maybe 9. I used to play out when up until like 7 or 8. I got an Xbox, bang, in from school playing Halo. You know, that physically stopped me going outside.
It's a different topic, but at the end of the day, it's a tool, right? And it's how you use it.
To adults, yes, I agree. If your point was exclusively about adults, but I think this like short form content is frying your attention span.
Oh yeah, short form AI slope is not good for anyone because you're not learning, you're not doing anything.
No, but
But
that
access to
will.
AI itself is
No,
actually good. You can learn so much more, so much quicker in a way adjusted to you.
As a grown adult, yes, I agree with your point when it comes to if in this argument you would only get access to the internet or Google as a grown adult. But what I'm saying is it exposes people earlier than they maybe mentally ready or the maturity levels aren't good enough at that point to something that can damage their potential. If you get what I'm saying. If not, that's so.
To what I said, if you're prone to addictive behaviors and things like that, it's gonna accelerate that. If you're prone to fixing problems and being curious, it's gonna accelerate that.
No, because once we get, what if you end up
We're
becoming
talking about the
curious?
tool.
about
We're
something
not
that-
talking about what other people make with the tool,
No,
right?
I
We're not
disagree.
talking about brain rot AI videos.
Because what if we
That's
end up
not
getting, what if we
AI.
end up getting curious? Because in your like argument here, the good side is curious and the negative side is addicted or whatever. Once you get curious about a bad thing, that suddenly ends you addicted because you were too young to, or not emotionally smart enough to experience that thing. I understand I'm looking at it from a very empathetic viewpoint, but just I don't think it's as absolute as you're making it out.
Yes, right.
Because it's like everyone's heard that story of a really smart.
Growing up has a lot of factors, right? Growing up has
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of factors.
But it's kind of
And
like
human psychology has a lot of factors.
but like what you just said there, it's kind of like saying the best athletes in the world will always make it, like talent levels. But that athlete might get his leg broken at 15 and never recover. You know? I don't think it's as simple as it accelerates everything. Because something outside that you're not ready for might just, I mean, if something's not being careful, might just break your leg. Or the equivalent in this metaphor.
Accelerate your habits and behaviors. If you use it for bad things, you're gonna do many more bad things. If you use it for good things, it's gonna do more good things.
Again, as a grown adult, I agree, but kids have access to this stuff as well. Like, as a 13-year-old, I think I knew what was good or bad. Things I thought were good.
You have to guide things. Yeah, but again, what kind of kid were you, right? At the start. So I was always like I had that engineering mindset from the start, right? That's what I got on my LinkedIn bio. I took a fucking clock apart at the age of 5 and whatever. Like I was already doing that. I was already taking things apart and looking into them. I broke the fucking thing, but I've learned from it. My first computer, I broke it. Then I tried to upgrade it. I broke it. But I've learned from it. I was curious to try and do stuff and learn.
So you don't think, I don't know, argument's sake, short form content was released when you were like 9 or something like that? You don't
Yeah,
think
but short form content is not a tool. That's what I'm saying. You're mistaking what people did with it. Oh, science is bad because people made drugs and bombs and guns and weapons. So therefore we shouldn't learn science because what if he builds a weapon and kills himself? It's a dumb argument, right? AI is neither good or bad. It's a tool and how you use it. That's what will make a difference, and it will accelerate whatever you use it for. If you use it for bad things, you're gonna do more bad things.
No, but as a 9-year-old, you don't know what good or bad is. That's the nuanced part of this argument you're not fully understanding, in my opinion. Like, as a 9-year-old, say AI was released, or Google, or insert whatever tool you want to use, it's very easy for you. Like, you might not know fucking drugs is bad for you at 9 years old. You know what I mean? And then you suddenly take drugs, you know any better. Bam.
That's in this parenting and inherent, that's parenting and your inherent genes and
so that's why I'm saying
personality.
That's why you shouldn't be as absolute in what you're saying, if you know what I mean. Like, if this discussion was purely about adults, I'd agree with you. But you're saying you're super curious at 9 and then suddenly AI comes in. If you're good, you'll do good with it. But no, at 9, you don't know the difference between good or bad, really.
Yeah, what if you are? Then it's amazing, right?
But what if you're not and you're suddenly
addicted to fucking cocaine? I remember I worked at Raspberry Pi, the mini computers, briefly in Cambridge. And we had a contest for like I swear it was for like ages 7 to 12. Like a business contest when they had to like pitch business ideas and send them with a letter and like overview. And we had fucking 8-year-olds pitching business ideas.
in Cambridge, London, one of the richest areas in the country, go to the worst council estate and do
No,
the same thing.
it was countrywide. The headquarters was in Cambridge, but it was
So why don't you go
countrywide.
to the worst council estate and try and do the same thing? You won't get as good results.
I was in a fucking council estate.
Exceptions to every rule.
Exactly, right? It depends what kind of person you are and what kind of environment you're in. Right.
You're being too absolute in
Fine,
what you're
and-
saying. There's way too many nuances to make a state in this one topic and make a
Yeah, but
statement that
environment.
absolute.
I wanna finish this topic because we're getting into a stupid argument. Parenting and environment is a part of who you are. That doesn't make the tool a bad tool. Just because you were born poor doesn't make a hammer a bad thing just because you can kill someone with it.
No.
It doesn't. You can build a house with the hammer, or you
But
can
you're
murder
ma-
someone with the
But
hammer.
you're
The
but you're
tool
ma-
inherently itself isn't a bad thing.
But what you're making out and essentially saying smart people, stupid people, that the smart person would always be smart and the dumb people will always be dumb, even with AI, but AI accelerates that person into being that. That's just a ridiculous argument. I honestly think that's insane for all the reasons I've just gone over. But let's
What
just
about
call
the
that.
hammer? What about the
What?
hammer? Because a dumb person is gonna bash himself in the head and die or kill someone.
Huh?
What
Why-
about your
I've-
tools at home?
I've
It's
got
the
no
same
idea.
thing, right?
No, it's not. It's whatever. Anyway, great show, guys. Let's call it a day at 90 minutes. I'm confused about the hammer thing. I think we've done this topic
Don't
enough.
want to talk about inflation?
What? No, 90 minutes is long enough.
Thanks so much, guys. As always, we're here every Wednesday, 2 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. CET. All the other times are in the description. Bye.